Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Zephyr Chung with Iris Diecast, and today I'm here to present the flagship of my collection, um, the Maisto Mercedes-Benz Vision SLR Coupe and the Vision SLR Roadster. This is probably the rarest model in my collection, and I'm pretty sure that I'm one of the only, if not the only collector to have both of these models in my inventory. So I paid crazy money for this car, 130,000 Korean won for both of these cars, including shipping, which is equivalent to around 120 US dollars. I would never pay $60 for a single Maisto car, let alone one without a box. But I just knew that I would probably never get to see this car for sale in Korea. So if I didn't get it now, I would probably never own it. So I went against my judgment, overpaid for it, and actually I'm quite happy with it. Now, you might be wondering, how is this car supposed to be rare? It's a Maisto, right? Maistos are known for cheap cars due to their mass production, and while some discontinued models have become uncommon due to their age, they're usually not scarce to the point of being rare. Well, these cars are an exception, and here's why. These cars are not the typical special or premiere edition Maistos that you see on sale at your retailer. These are dealer exclusive models that Maisto supplied for Mercedes-Benz. Now, NORAD has their license, but in the early 2000s, Maisto had it, and what makes this car even more special than other cars that Maisto supplied for Mercedes-Benz is that these were dealer dealer exclusive. So Maisto also supplied the W168A class, R230 SL class, R170 SLK, and the production SLR, but those were also available in the Maisto Special and Premier line as well. But Division SLRs were only available as the dealer edition, which is what makes this car much more special. Apparently, not too many people know about this car, and Maisto is the only car manufacturer to have. Maisto is the only model manufacturer to have produced this model, so that really contributes to the value and meaning this car has. So for this video, I'll review both the Coupe and the Roadster, and also compare these cars to the production version of the Mercedes SLR, which is also made by Maisto. So let's start with the Roadster model. Now, despite being a dealer exclusive model car, the quality on this model is not that exceptionally better than that of a standard Maisto. In fact, I'd say that it's pretty much the same level. So let's go ahead and see what I'm talking about. So the headlamps are not bad. Um, they've got even the smallest of the texture details, and the bulbs are nicely crafted. Although the pegs are in the middle. It's not very small nor hidden, but I figure it would have been difficult to put the peg anywhere else than here. The casting quality is not perfect. Um, as you can see, the curved lines down here are not very smooth, and like most Maisto cars, the air intakes up here, the holes are not very finished perfectly. They're not smooth and they have bits of paint on them. It applies same for the coupe, although one unique factor of the coupe is that it has this orange bulb right here, while as the Roadster doesn't have it, which I found quite interesting because the Maisto would have to distinguish the parts instead of sharing them for these two similar cars. The gap between the hood and the body is not bad. It's not bad. It's just like an average Maisto car. It's not bad, but it's not as good as some higher end models, obviously. So here is the engine bay. The hood is so long on this car that it's hard to see the deeper part of the engine. However, I'd say the quality of the engine is really, really good. It's not some single plastic piece engine, and they have the main block and other separate parts like this red part right here. It's clean, it finished nicely, it gives the simple feeling of a concept car engine. And as for the coupe, it also shares the Roadster's 5.5 liter supercharged V8, and it also comes with basically the same details. So moving on to the side of the car, this is where the coupe and the Roadster slightly differ because mainly because of the rims. The Roadster has these beautiful turbine rims that are very similar to the production car. They're very, very beautiful. And the detail on these rims are amazing. They did a really nice job with the wheel bolts, the Mercedes logo in the center, um, and it's really finished smoothly too. There's no bits of paint on it or uneven surfaces. It's finished really nicely. And to my surprise, this car comes with disc brakes, which moves along with the car. So Maisto cars usually have fixed disc brakes, which are stationary even if the tire moves. So this was an unexpected surprise. We even got some detail with lettering on the tire, which is all very nice. They used the sticker for the air intake here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a sticker there, um, which was both nice and disappointing at the same time. It's nice because they paid attention to it and put the sticker over it instead of just leaving it bare. But at the same time, it would have been better if the casting itself had a hole in it. So here is the SLR sticker. I can't really think of a better way to do this, but personally I'm not a big fan of it. It just doesn't really look like the real car. They even paid great attention to the little texture details on the side mirror here, although the finishing itself is not that great. The surface is a little bit rough and there's little bits of paint um, left on the mirror, making it a little bit rough. The coupe version is overall similar, but like I said earlier, it has different rims, but with the same great detail. Now, the turbine rims on the Roadster and the production car is what made me really love the SLR. I mean, this was my favorite car when I was younger. But you know, the coupe is a little bit more unique, and it's kind of what sets it apart from the common production SLR model with its distinct rims. So personally, I kind of like the coupe version better than the Roadster. The interior on these two cars are actually a little bit different, and the interior wasn't really all that impressive, just the level of detail you'd expect on a Maisto car. You can see the seats aren't finished perfectly. There's a hole, there's a pretty big hole between the cushion of the seat and the backrest, and the lines on the seat are somewhat cheap looking. The gear shifter and the buttons on the center dash is also a little bit more cheap looking, but other than that, the details are pretty good. I especially love the speed thermometer and the steering wheel. They got the futuristic concept car look pretty good, and I love how they expressed the texture on the center of the steering wheel and how they used separate chrome parts for the brakes and the accelerator down there. The door panel is pretty nice, and personally, I think that it is a little bit unique with all of these shapes over here. Um, I'm not really sure whether this is meant to serve a function or if it's just a design element, probably the latter, considering that this is a concept car. Yeah, but I thought it was pretty interesting. The interior detail is basically the same in the coupe, but I personally think the coupe is a little bit more cooler because of the color combination. The Roadster has a color combination of silver and this weird light green color, but the coupe has a silver and beige two-tone interior, and I think it looks really premium and nice. Uh, and what I also like about it is these two little cushions in the back. I don't know why, but I just really like it. Here is the rear of the car. Um, the rear lamps are clear bezel with nice details on there. There you go. The downside is that the rear lamps don't fit perfectly onto the body, and there's a pretty big peg holding the rear lamp to the body over here. The rear Mercedes logo is printed. They did use separate um, piece of plastic part for this thing over here, but again, it doesn't fit perfectly. Exhausts are done really nicely and cleanly, as well as the bumper over here. It's done really nicely. The Coupe has red accents on the rear lamp, unlike the Roadster, and the peg is also further down. It's right over here, and the rear license plate is a little bit more shorter than the Roadster, and for some reason, while the plastic part on the Roadster is divided into three parts, one, two, three. The Coupe is in a single piece, and the number of separation for the bumpers down here is also different. The trunk space is pretty small and pretty unique looking actually. Both cars, it has these divided square mats, if you can call it like that. We got the screws from the display stand that came with this car. Not much to see here. Undercarriage is pretty impressive. Like usual, Maisto did a pretty good job, and the attention to detail in the undercarriage is pretty amazing. Now, while I really like these cars, I don't usually care much for the scarcity of the models, which is why I mostly have Maistos, Barago, and other cheap mass-produced brands. I just don't really feel like spending much for the so-called premium on these cars, but this car is really special and it's very meaningful for me because it really stands out. It's one of the very few rare cars out of Maisto's vast lineup. So, as a huge Maisto customer, I'm just really happy to have these cars as my trophy. So now it's time for perhaps the highlight of this video, the lineup of the three SLRs, the Vision SLR Coupe, the Vision SLR Roadster, and the production version SLR over there. So now, as far as I've checked, I'm the only one who made a detailed video on the Vision SLR, so this will be the first time on YouTube that these three cars are lined up together. Now, the production model of the SLR is actually quite common, so you can get it in gray, silver, blue, and black. I used to own a blue version, um, but I sold it and got this gray one because the color combination of the exterior and the interior was so bad. So now obviously there's going to be a lot of specific differences between the concept and the actual car. You don't need me to point out that they are different cars. So I'll just focus on some of the more interesting details that are worth pointing out. So first of all, the direction in which the hood opens is different. The Vision SLRs open just like the regular cars do, while the production car is opened in the opposite way. So onto the side, some of the things worth pointing out are the exhaust. So while the Vision SLR had it in the rear of the car, the production car has it in the side. There's also a McLaren logo because McLaren had contributed in the development of the car. So the funny thing is that the Vision SLR was launched in '99, while the actual production car was launched in 2003. So it took 4 years for the concept to actually be released for the public, and part of that is because McLaren joined the development of the car after the Vision SLR concept was launched. So Mercedes did the Vision SLR as a spiritual tribute to their famous 300 SLR, and after its positive reception, they wanted to produce it formally. So they thought it would be a great idea to have McLaren join them in the development because they were having pretty good results with them in Formula One. Now, we all know that the SLR didn't turn out so well. It wasn't really successful in terms of sales, probably because of the lack of Mercedes brand power in the supercar world. It also brought trouble between Murray, McLaren, and Mercedes. The original SL the SLR is based on is not really a good car in terms of weight balance, but the SLR's massive supercharged V8 engine pretty much ruined the weight balance. Now, Murray used to work with Formula One cars, so he was all about performance, and you can guess that he didn't really like that. Mercedes also asked for lower prices, convertibles, which ruined the aerodynamics, and insisted on a 5-speed torque convertible transmission instead of the commonly used 6-speed single clutch transmission. So you can guess there was a lot of fighting and arguing. The interior is a lot more plush and premium looking on the production car. Oh, that's a lot of dust in there. So this particular model comes with the silver aero interior option with the red interior leather seats. It looks nice on silver and gray cars, but not so much on a blue car. So if you're looking forward to getting one of these production version SLR McLarens, try not to get a blue one. So here is the rear end of the cars. Now they do look a little bit different. Personally, I think the coupe is a little bit more boxy and kind of lifted up, but the overall silhouette of the Vision SLRs and the production SLR is pretty similar the way I see it. So this concludes my pretty long video on my Vision SLR Coupe and Roadster. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what I should work on for the next video. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future video.